for all of their elected officials. And that question is simply, are you going to do what you say you're going to do? And back in January, we stood together and we said what we were going to do. We said that we would make life just a little bit more affordable for the people of Maryland. We said that we would strengthen Maryland's economic competitiveness. And we said that we were going to protect our people, no matter who or where that threat was coming from. And then 2 weeks ago, when the legislative session ended, we're thankful that collectively, together, we were able to keep our promises and deliver for our people. We're thankful that it continues a streak and a trend of saying that we will work with anybody, regardless of background or political party, to be able to make sure that we're doing the work for the people of this state. And we're thankful that within our administration, we've now seen that 97% of the bills that we have introduced and gotten passed have been passed with bipartisan support, both Democrats and Republicans. But none of this happens without true partners inside the work. None of this happens without people like Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller. None of this happens without people like Senate President Bill Ferguson. None of this happens without House Speaker Jocelyn Pena-Melnick. None of this happens without members of the House and members of the Senate. None of this happens without every single member of our cabinet and our administration. None of this happens without the advocates and the leaders and the ones who showed up when it was cold, when it was raining, and who said that we are going to make sure that our people are remembered and fought for. That this is what progress looks like, and this is what progress requires. This room, Marylanders who show up and who fight for what's right, and who also know that as long as you never forget who you're fighting for, you know you'll never stop fighting. We're grateful to be here also with some very important family members of our state, the Wards and the Otto families. We're thankful to have you here. Also with the Cover family. We're deeply grateful to have you here. And we want to let you know that your loved ones are not forgotten. And we're better because of them. That because of all of you, Maryland will be safer and stronger for all the people who call this place home. And many of the bills that I will sign today are about one true fact: protecting our people. That at a time when our people are being squeezed by the cost of everything, especially groceries, and we see it and we hear it all the time as we walk into a grocery store, and at a time when technology can predict what we need, when we need it, when we'll pay for it, and also when we'll pay more for it, and at a time when we're watching how big companies are then using those analytics against us to make record profits, Maryland is not just pushing back. Maryland is pushing forward because we are going to protect our people. And so today, I will sign HB 895, the Protection from Predatory Pricing Act, into law. That today, Maryland becomes the first state in the country to ban price manipulation in supermarkets and grocery stores all across the state of Maryland. Because people deserve to know what price is on the shelf, and that the price is on the shelf is actually the price they're going to pay for when they get to the checking account. People deserve to know that the price that they pay is not different from the customer who walked in just before them, or different from the customer that walks in right after them. People deserve to know that their data will not be used against them to charge them more. And today, Maryland is putting an end to any forms of price manipulation. That today, I'll also sign SB 255, the Voting Rights Act of 2026. It was sponsored by Senator Sidnor and Delegate Wims. Thank you for the leadership. And this bill happened because there are folks here who made this bill a priority. This bill is happening because the Legislative Black Caucus made this bill a priority. This bill is happening because our friends at the Legal Defense Fund made this bill a priority. And what this bill does, it prohibits election methods that dilute the votes of protected classes at the county and at the municipal level. It removes barriers to the ballot box. It ensures that every voice will be heard and every voice will be counted. And it ensures that if you honestly believe in democracy, it means more people should participate and not fewer. These bills will make sure that it's not just strengthening our democratic values, but our democratic systems. I will also sign bills that protect the children of our state. One is HB 1559, the children of unlicensed settings and pediatric hospital overstays, patients, and placements. This bill gives the states the tools and oversight to make sure that all children are in the most appropriate setting. And I want to thank the Speaker for her work on this. Because this was work that the Speaker has been leading on well before she held the gavel. And made sure that when she got that gavel, it was going to get across that finish line. The second is HB 980, or Kania's Law. This was sponsored by Delegate Griffith. And I want to thank him for his steadfast leadership and push to make this happen. This law establishes a guardianship assistance program, providing financial assistance to the families who step up to raise children in their care. It creates a state foster youth ombudsman, an independent advocate within the Office of the Attorney General to investigate complaints. This bill bears the name of Kania Ward, someone who should be here today. What happened to Kania was a tragedy. What happened to Kania was unacceptable. And as I've said before, and I'll continue to say it, every child in this state deserves to be supported, and every child in this state deserves to be safe, and every child in our care deserves the same standard of care that any one of us would expect and hope for our own children. Today, Kania's grandfather, Michael Ward, and mother, Brooke Ward, are here with us. In February, Brooke testified before the House Judiciary Committee. She said that she hoped Maryland would do more for young people who need help. She said that she hoped that the systems that they rely on would work. And she told us to put politics aside and to focus on something that we all have in common: a love of our children. Brooke, because of your courage, because of your conviction, because of your strength, and because of your ability to turn pain into progress, we are here today. And your hopes of making sure that all of our children can be safe and have an advocate is happening because you used your voice. And for you and for Michael, I would ask that you all would join me up here, because I want to offer you the first pens of this session in recognition of your work and in recognition of a beautiful life that is now making countless lives better. God bless you, and thank you. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
And with that, it is my honor to turn the podium over to one of my wonderful partners in the work, Senate President Bill Ferguson.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Governor. To the Ward family, I am so deeply sorry for your loss. I am also so pleased that we could be here to turn that pain into something that is hopefully protective for many, many, many others. And so I just thank you for your passion to find a better path for others. So thank you for being here today. I want to thank the Governor, Speaker Peña-Melnick. Truly, it has been an honor to work with them, and to the many, many members of the General Assembly who are in the crowd today. Thank you for your passion and belief in the state of Maryland. All of this work is truly Herculean, and it doesn't happen without your commitment to public service and to your belief in a better Maryland. When I think about the themes that we'll be celebrating today of bills that are being signed into law, they really are the same ones we talked about since the beginning of session: affordability, consumer protection, and protecting all Maryland families from what has too often been seen as a series of harmful actions at the federal level. Themes that have defined us as a state and as a community. I want to start with some of the issues that the governor has already spoken about today, and I want to thank the governor and his administration for leading on the Protection from Predatory Pricing Act. It is truly a true benchmark in restoring affordable and transparent grocery pricing in Maryland. This will be the first of its kind across the country, and will prohibit stores from surveilling you, each one of us, and from using AI to set prices according to how much they think you will pay. As the world gets ever more sophisticated and we fight the battles to come of what AI is going to do to our society, Maryland is leading the way to put thoughtful, reasonable protections in place to allow for innovation, but also make sure that it does not harm us. Ultimately, we're all fighting for the same thing: affordable grocery bills, and this will be one small step to make sure that we're moving in that direction. I'm also incredibly proud of the tangible and specific steps that we took to defend our residents and our workforce from some of the more insidious immigration enforcement activities. Over the last several months, we've seen ICE engaging in what has truly been, by the court of law, not a debate, unconstitutional and illegal actions here in Maryland and across the country. Too often, these have been campaigns that have been intentionally built around instilling fear in communities. These federal activities have been an attack on the values that we as Americans and Marylanders believe to be different. Children and their parents should not and cannot have to worry about whether a teacher will report a child or that parent to ICE. School personnel should not be used as ICE immigration officers, nor should they be able to share information with ICE about a child or a parent. Our value educators cannot and will not be pawns for an organization that has used fear all too often. I want to thank Senator King and Delegate Ebersol for the Maryland Values Act, which we will be signing today, which prohibits school personnel from engaging in enforcement activities that have too often disrupted and harmed communities. I'd also like to double down on the incredible work from Senator Sidnor and Delegate Wims for their work on the Voting Rights Act. What we've seen is a systemic attack on voting rights, and this bill will provide necessary protections here in the state of Maryland, no matter what happens at the Supreme Court. I'm also incredibly pleased that we passed Senate Bill 772 and 831, These are places where our long-standing safety nets and labor protections have been continually attempts to eviscerate them. The bills that we are signing today will keep people from losing their much-needed benefits from Medicaid, SNAP, and TANF, and will protect workers from unregulated and unfair working standards. I'm particularly grateful to the wonderful labor leaders who I see a number in the room today, particularly our Maryland State and DC AFL-CIO President Donna Edwards and her team, who have worked with us throughout this session to craft thoughtful and purposeful measures to protect Maryland workers. Thank you, Donna. We're also signing a number of bills that demonstrate the breadth and depth of the issues that Marylanders are facing. Things like the Crown and Care Act and arbitration reform for state workers. This gives AFSCME employees a protection so that they can have the benefits and compensation that they deserve. All of these bills are focused on providing financial relief for those who maybe have been grieving a child, who are in danger of losing DDA benefits, or protecting those that are the most vulnerable amongst us. And as the governor said, I want to also make a double-click note here on the work of pediatric hospital overstays that the speaker has been championing for many years. If we walked down into the streets of Annapolis and asked anyone, what do you think about pediatric overstays? I would say 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, would say, no idea. However, it is one of the most insidious and problematic features that has existed for far too long in our society. And it is something that, while it may not lead on the front page, is an absolute demonstration of who we are as Marylanders and what we believe about the youngest and most vulnerable amongst us, those who need our help and need a pathway and real systems in place in order to fix it. And I'm so proud to be here today alongside of the incredible work that the speaker has had over these years to identify the problem and come up with a real, thoughtful solution. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to my partner in this work, Speaker Jocelyn Peña-Melnick.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope you're having a blessed day. I want to start by saying my deepest condolences to your family. I pray that God gives you peace and comfort. Delegate Griffith, you and I testified together, and you are an amazing human being. You have such a beautiful heart and a story that we are all inspired by. Thank you for making a difference. Delegate Shetty, you did a lot of the work on both bills, the pediatric overstay bill as well. Thank you, and the Appropriations Committee. I decided that this job is a lot of work, so I'm going to have a little fun with it. So bear with me. I have an important question for my friends, Governor Moore and President Ferguson. Have you exercised your wrist to properly prepare them for today's activity? Because guess what? We have a lot of good bills to sign. It seems like a foregone conclusion when we're here for bill signing days that these laws are just meant to be. But that is ignoring the very hard work that took place behind the scenes for these bills to become law today. And I want to go through that. Before they land here on the desk for signatures, they were an idea of someone, right? In someone's district. A problem that someone reached out to discuss. A delegate or senator agreed to meet, learn about the issue, and become its champion, like so many of you here. From there, a bill had to be drafted. A panel of witnesses had to be procured for the hearing. A lot of negotiations and conversations with colleagues about earning support or accepting amendments took place. Floor debates and votes, ushering it through the other chamber after crossover at 11:55 in the evening, gaining agreement on a compromise version of the bill if there were changes on either side, and getting all of that done within 90 days. Whew, that's a lot of work. Well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk on how a bill becomes a law in Maryland. But in all seriousness, we are here today to celebrate the beauty of this civic process. This is democracy in action. And the gathering of delegates and senators and advocates and supporters of each of these bills to stand with us here today to celebrate, to receive a signing pen and to take a photograph has always been one of my favorite moments of the year. So before I say anything more about the great new laws that we are enacting today, let me first just give a hearty congratulations to all the members, whether you're in the House or the Senate. And I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to leave someone out, so I want you to stand up, please. I want people to recognize you. And let me tell you, it takes a lot of work to get these bills because it takes two chambers, and God knows that anything can go wrong, right? And that you find yourself with a very important bill at 11:55 in the evening, right? But we get it done. But it takes all of us. It takes a village. So today we're not just signing bills. We're affirming our values about who we are as a state and how we choose to show up for one another. And that's important, especially with everything happening at the federal level today, right? That we need to be civil, that we need to be humane, and that we need to be kind. We're going to start with the pediatric oversight crisis, right? That is such an important bill, Governor and Senate President. And I want to thank you for your partnership because it took all of us to get it done. And you're right, no child in the need of care should be left waiting in an emergency room without the support they deserve. And never again will our foster kids, Delegate Griffith, find placement in unsupervised settings like hotel rooms or shelters. Children in crisis will receive the attention and the care that they deserve. We and the Appropriations Committee, Delegate Shetty, Chair Barnes, they made it a priority so it doesn't happen again. And the Governor and the President of the Senate. We are also bringing fairness and transparency to dynamic pricing. And Governor, thank you for your work. Because Marylanders should not be penalized simply for showing up at the wrong moment in a predatory marketplace. And thank you for leading. And we are first. Thank you so much for putting us on the map. We are expanding the definition of sensitive locations that restrict immigration enforcement to include public schools, public libraries. Can you imagine? We're still humanity. We're also demanding honesty and transparency in planning for detention facilities, including facilities for immigrants, our brothers and sisters, because they deserve a voice as well. And at a time when the foundations of our democracy are being tested across the country, we're strengthening the right to vote. Thank you so much for that bill, that little bill that could, at 11:55 at night. And while these bills, and you deserve it, and I tell you, as I was up there, with 5 minutes, I thought I cannot let this die on my watch because there was too much at stake. And I thank you for bringing it to the desk, even if it was at 11:55 at night. And while these bills represent some of the major legislation we're highlighting today, we also took meaningful action across a wide range of issues that touch people's life every day. And I want to take a minute because they're important as well. We strengthened our healthcare force from expanding training pipelines for doctors and social workers to improving access to behavioral health, which is so important, and ensuring continuity of care for patients who move to Maryland. We also invested in safer staffing, better dementia care, which is so important, and continued progress toward a more patient-centered healthcare system, which is what we need to do. We work to lower costs and support working families by expanding access to tax credits, encouraging greater participation in programs like the Earned Income Tax Credit, and giving local government new tools to support families with children. We strengthen consumer protections in ways that matter in daily life, ensuring fair utility billing for renters, requiring access to cash for essential purchases, and reducing lead risk in housing, and extending basic protections for farmers and small businesses who too often operate without them. We supported opportunity in local economies, helping small businesses grow, expanding pathway for cottage food entrepreneurs, investing in agriculture education, and removing unnecessary barriers that hold back innovation and job creation, particularly in rural communities. We made the rural communities a priority, and that's important because we are one Maryland. And I must say that what touched me the most was the outpouring of bipartisan support for the renaming of the Maryland Fair and Agricultural Education Promise Fund, the Charles Otto Agricultural Education Promise Act. I know that the delegate's family is here today, and I want you to feel the love that we have for him and for you. We made important investment in public health and safety, from advancing pediatric cancer research and strengthening protections against harmful consumer products. And we continue our commitment, yes, to the environment, because it is important. Protecting endangered species, preserving open space, supporting farmers, reducing food waste, and giving local communities the tools they need to manage invasive species and protect the natural resources. They may not all make the headlines like the popular bills, but they're so important. They reflect the kind of steady, thoughtful work that keeps Maryland moving forward through our focus on affordability, accountability, and opportunity. I just want to say thank you so much for being here today. You could have been anywhere else, and you made this a priority. So, Governor and Mr. President, let's get those wrists warm up and sign up those great bills. Thank you.
House Bill 895, Food Retailers and Third-Party Delivery Service Providers, Dynamic Pricing and Personal Data, Protection from Predatory Pricing Act. House Bill 604, Senate Bill 28, Arbitration Reform for State Employees Act of 2026.
head for the door, please. Thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't have a blue sheet.
SB 225. 255. 255.
Senate Bill 255, Voting Rights Act of 2026, Counties and Municipal Corporations. Hang on, they're going to clear out the new people. They're going to clear out the old people. And how are you today?
Super fantastic.
What did you do?
I had to have a little surgery.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get up there.
You want me to go that way? No, I'll find a way and hold off the masses. I'm the gatekeeper. Hi. Good, thank you. Thank you very much.